Welcome to Aaron Plays. This will be episode 16 of Austerlitz by Hexasim Games, with myself as the French and my opponent Mark as the coalition. This will be a shortish video linking some play-by-email logs together. We left it last time with about with aggression over here and here. Turov, a bit of readjustment over here with the right wing. It was left with a log from myself. So, being polite, hi Mark, and I will now make me a mini-me. You want to see that all the time. Put that stuff over there. Right, so I'm going to try and activate the Emperor. Activates the following three. Well, sorry. The last thing I did was the roll to activate the Emperor. Or did I? Did I actually do 3 rolls? Yeah. I think let me get away with that. I should have actually made the roll. Can't remember if I made the roll or not. So, oops, if I didn't, and okay, if I did. I mean, it's an 11. 1 in 36 chance that the Emperor doesn't move, but there we go. All right, so he's basically operating or activating these 2 batteries plus Saul. So I'll zoom in on that. Yeah, trying again to weaken Langeron so that I can then push on up that hill with Saul. So offensive fire, so this battery firing. No modifiers on the target. Rolled a 4, which is a QFT 1 plus 1 step. Now, he's failed the QFT, so 9 plus 1 is 10. And the best morale unit in that hex is 7. That's 3 or more. That's a rout. So when artillery are stacked with a unit that routs, they take an additional step loss. Guys leaving the guns and such forth. And when you're out 3 hexes back towards your line of communication. And are marked as such. I'm giving the option when the log file goes back, you might change that to 1, 2, 3 maybe. That battery. Okay. No modifier. 3 hex range. Rolls a 7, which is a QFT, which they pass admirably. Okay, so that's the artillery fired. Now to move. And I'm attempting to assault this position again with Saul. They can all move 1 hex, so they move forward. Assault marked. Defensive fire. -1 for adjacent. So I'm rolling for him, so it's a 4. So it's a QFT 1 and a step, so the same result that happened here. However, Saul is a little bit, then morale 8. Saul makes them 9, back down to an 8. Roll a 10. Morale 8 and Saul makes 9, so fail by 2. That's not a rout. It's a retreat. Again, soldiers can't get up to those guns. And now I'm taking a step loss as well. Okay. So that was the Emperor's activation. Now, the Emperor can only do that once per turn. You can activate units. Any commander can only activate units once per turn. And a turn die roll 5. As I put there, dice went both ways on that activation. Yes, good result for me here. A result here, and they stood, even though the morale's only 6. That would have been nice to see those guys buckle too. Or the assault going. So swings and roundabouts on the Emperor's activation. So that ends the log file. So I'll bring up the next log. Okay. I am phew. That is one hell of a battle between Langeron and Zulkor. Tell me about it. I just noticed something there. I'm typing in green text, he's typing in blue. The opposite way around. Well. Okay. Oh, mark Napoleon's activated. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Didn't do that. Right. I'll try to activate Langeron for the Allies. He needs an 8. Rolls a 9. Langeron's quite happy with what's going on. He's frozen under the weight of Saul's assaults. Saul's attempted assaults. Okay, Kutosov. Need 10 or less. It's a 6, so he activates his army commander. He will now be unmasked. Look at the Pratt's area of the battlefield. Yeah, I'm totally zoomed in on that. That's the real man. I will delete the dummy. Okay. I will use his special ability to activate 2 stacks of units. Fair enough. We'll be within 6 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, no probs. Offensive fire first. Okay, firing at 6 hex range, 4 hex range. -2 for range. Yes, the coalition get a -1 for 3 hex range, and an additional -1 for 4 hex range. Those are 5. Yeah, not -2 +2. Correct. Yes, that's a 7, which is a QFT. Roll a 6. They pass that. No effect. Movement. You're pulling those. Ooh. Langeron's men have moved against their orders, but is allowed as is directed by their army commander. Correct. This is an exception to the usual rule, forbidding it. Yes, he's quite correct on that one. You don't have to follow orders if it's given by the overall commander or one of the overall commanders. I need to close the gap a little. Yeah, agreed. I've decided to adjust the movement. Kutosov himself does not move. And a turn roll, it's an 8. Oh, back to the French. At least he remembers to place activation markers, unlike myself. Okay, so my log back to him. Hi, Mark. Trying for Davout. Yes, Davout activates. Yeah. Let's see if we can get some more units. Group 2. All right, okay, so what am I actually attempting here? Every time it activates, he tries to get some of his reinforcements on. I've already had group 1. So group 2. Now, he needs to roll 5 or less to get a group on. In the previous turn, there was a +1 to the roll. This turn, there's no modifier. Next turn, so as in 10 a.m., there'll be a -1 modifier. So it's generally easier. So I'm going to roll an 8 for group 2. No. Group 4. We've already had group 3. Group 4. No. Group 5. They're definitely not interested. No, still in bed. Group 6. No, starting to get a bit desperate now, boys. Come on, someone must come on. In fact, group 7 already has, I think. Yeah. No. No more that. No more that activation. Okay, so that was a bit disappointing. Another group of troops would have been useful because I'm obviously on a shoestring budget here, troop-wise. So offensive fire, so the cannons firing into the village. +1 village, -1 range. Good result. QFT 1 plus a step. Good result for him. Pass the QFT admirably and take a step loss. My little guys there. -1 for lights, +1 for size. Yeah, if you've got less than 4 increments, you add 1 for size because there's not so many men firing. 10. Yeah, it's a slight miss. Those lights over down there. -1 for lights. 9, also a slight miss. And the infantry firing uphill into some thickets, +2, no. Okay, prep charge. Now when you prep a charge, you spend half your movement. So they've rounded down. So they've already spent 3 movement points, 4 movement points for the lights. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Get all those units into that position. Total 7 MP, or for the lights, 8. Cavalry prep attack +2. And because they're infantry, that's going to be their target, and they started adjacent to infantry already, is classed as a flank attack. Flank attack, as it says, there's SPs ×2. So in actual fact, what's hitting them there is, excuse me, is 9 SPs, which will then double to 18. Okay, lights moving up. Reinforcing the village. They can move from this hex to this hex because this unit does not project a zone of control into this hex because it is a town or village. Okay, this guy's moving up here to engage that unit. I know it's basically called a soak-off. Now, for some reason, I was getting carried away with the thematics here. I should have declared this as a prep charge. I'm having some cavalry charge into this hex here, preparing to take the +3 for cavalry charging to a village. I, for some reason, viewed it as them dismounting and moving into the village, which did happen. I should have declared it as a prep charge, and when it comes to the melee phase, when I realised that, I did count it as a prep charge because they're well within range. Okay. Now I do my melee decorations. Joins in there. Now, the units that started adjacent can't be prepped, but as long as one of them is prepped, which would be that first dragoons, I actually mentioned in the email, it was the 1527 dragoons, but it'll be the first dragoons, and I will correct that as such. As I say, as the cavalry are dismounting to get you out of the village, in actual fact, they are charging through the streets to him for defensive fire. So that ends that particular log. Okay, so we've got some defensive fire coming in now. So High Aaron Davout has quickly rallied his men for a counterattack. Looks ominous. No opportunity for the Russians in the open to form square as they begin the phase adjacent to your infantry. So that's as I mentioned, because they started adjacent to that infantry. This is a flank attack, and a flank attack. Effectively, there's no square markers or anything like that, but it's classed as a flank attack because it's adjacent, therefore no squares. I'll begin left to right, firing against Davout, 0 DRM, out of ammo. Next one. Now he says 0 DRM versus the cavalry charge. That's not actually correct. It's a +1 because they're being flank attacked. 5, so technically it's 6, which would actually be no result. So he's doing a QFT here, which I passed. If I'd failed, I would have then joined the log at this point and corrected. So pass. That unit there, firing on my light, 0 DRM, that's an 8, that's a miss. Okay, so back to me for the assaults. This is where it gets a little tricky now. Okay. So, one mark. Right, when flanked for, okay, so I'm pointing out his mistake. Let's resolve the assault into the village. So it's these two here. All right, it's at this point I realise that they weren't dismounting to actually attack. It is still classed as a charge. Let's resolve the assault. Oops. I will cancel one assault first. I want to cancel that assault, otherwise they'll be going in at 1 to 7. Not really a good idea. Okay, because I've got to cancel that assault before I begin any of the other assaults. Okay, so those two stacks going in. Right, so I've got 14 strength, so there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 cavalry in that hex, and 6 infantry stroke cavalry in that, giving me a strength of 14 versus 4, which is 3 to 1. So it's -3 for the odds. However, cavalry charging or fighting into a village is +3. So that cancels each other out. Morale 8 v6. So my lead unit in there's got an 8. Both at 8 is 6. So that gives me -2 modifier. And Davo himself is another 2 modifier for a net -4. Roll a 9, which becomes a 5, which is a QFT and a step. Now, what should happen here is I should have rolled QFT, even though it's a step loss and they're eliminated, you still roll for the QFT to see if they actually rout, because there's all implications for banners, but that will come up. Okay. For some reason, I saw this as the cavalry dismounting to fight through the village, which I've mentioned, but it's not, it's still a charge. Okay. Therefore, the 1527, it's actually not the 1527. I made a mistake on that. It's the first dragoons that moved from Ha to here. That would be marked as prepped. Okay, so I must advance in all my cavalry. Yes, when you charge with cavalry, we advance in all cavalry up to obviously stacking limits advancing. So I think that's pretty much everybody. Okay, now pursuit. 6, so I can keep them under control, which I will do. Yeah, okay, I don't fancy charging into that unit there. Though, I'll be no longer prepped. I don't take, I'm charging it out of village. I'm not sure of the implications on that, but I'd rather not at this point. Okay. So that stack charging that one, 18 SP versus 10, so 3 to 2, not quite 2 to 1. That's a -1. Quality difference is 2. Okay, 8 versus 6. So net -3. Roll of 6 becomes a 3. So that's a QFT 1 plus R. So R will eliminate both of those. Actually, I should have rolled the QFT on the prior unit that died. Routes me a better chance of a flag capture. Okay, but gone past that, so just doing this QFT 1. So yeah, I've moved past that. As we've been playing it all the way through. If you make a mistake, go back. No. So the QFT 1 is an 8, which becomes a 9. So it is a route, and the R eliminates them. Checking rules 23, I need a 3 or less to capture a flag. If they have a unit adjacent to them, which they do, when they route, it actually doesn't make any difference. If these had been in the field on their own, it's no adjacent, I'd have got a -2 modifier to capturing the flag. So I need it. And there it is. A standard has been taken. I got a flag from the second unit, which is the Moscow, the second unit in that stack. We've captured their banner. I think that's a 10 victory points, which doesn't sound a lot, but considering the scales of hundreds that this game works on, but 10 victory points is 10 victory points. And again, all the cavalry must move in. Pursuit roll, they stay under control as well. Okay, putting a flag on the force display next to the Emperor. So if we look at my setup, there's a the little cherub himself. And there's the little flag that I've captured. All right. What's going on here? All right, cleaning up with it. Probably doing something about losses. Okay, 26 losses added to the notes. So we're keeping notes here. Right, so 26 infantry taken out this round. Clear all the fight, all the statuses. All the moves, end of turn die roll. No. And yeah, guess what? I forgot. Oh, I did do Devil's activation. So retaken Skolnitz. Done some heavy damage to Turov. So I'm quite happy with that. However, the downside is David didn't get any more troops, and he's now had his second activation. So yeah, I punted this back to Mark, and nothing's come through as yet backwards. So that's why I thought I'd make a video at this point. So thank you for watching. I hope you've been enjoying what you're seeing. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and yeah, until next time, bye for now.